So One Piece chapter 981. So this chapter starts off without a cover page, which tells us that that story has come to its conclusion. And I think we will see more of, or the resolution of that cover page story in the near future. So we don't know if Lola and Chiffon found their dad's body, but if they did, then we have ourselves another happy ever after story. And I honestly wish that wasn't the case, because Pound dying would have been kind of impactful within the story, but he didn't, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't bother me too much because I don't see him as much of an important character anyway. What that possibly could have led to is Lola and Chiffon combining the forces and possibly joining the Straw Hats for fight against the Yonkos, maybe in the future. Now the chapter starts off with Kid and Apu fighting, and Apu getting his wig split yet again. It seems Kid has been identified as well, and as I have been saying, this whole thing is going to fall apart completely. This whole stealth mission, this whole surprise attack on the Yonkos is going to flop completely, and I honestly believe that at the end of this arc, the Straw Hat will not succeed in beating Kaido. So Kid pulls up Apu about being a snitch, and Apu lets him know that pirate alliances don't end up well because you're fighting against one of the big emperors. So Apu knows he's a rat, but he just doesn't care. He knows that he's up against one of the emperors, and he's just scared. You know, some men out there, they just, once they see numbers, they just fold. And Apu is simply one of those men. Apu is probably one of those niggas that goes to jail and picks up the soap without people telling him to. This guy just bent the knee, which is kind of disappointing because I thought, to be honest, that he would have a better reason. But apparently not. Apu's whole reason of betraying the alliance is, I'm a bitch. Moving on, after Apu decides to finish his I prefer to pick up the soap speech, he then goes on to retaliate with his musical ability. And then one of Kaido's henchmen asked Queen, how the hell are we supposed to take them alive? I'm thinking, nigga, what? Hold on, wait a minute, take a seat.
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
What are you talking about? You can't beat these niggas. Yo, I've just noticed. Have you guys noticed? It will always be these henchmen in the background, these fodder characters talking the most shit, talking about how you gonna take these niggas alive. It will take any one of those guys there 5 seconds or less to put these niggas in a recovery position. You get easily folded. I don't understand what these niggas are talking about. And I don't even understand how Queen confidently say, okay, go and kill him. Like, bro, do you even think these niggas look capable of killing anyone? Come on, Queen just straight failed, man. Trying to tell these weak ass henchmen to go fight these niggas, knowing damn well that they won't stand a chance. Like sending these niggas while Apu, someone who's stronger, is being beaten the shit out of and is currently bleeding out his mouth. You're just sending these niggas to be put to sleep. That's what he's doing. That would be a 5-second job at most. It looks like they have a giant amongst them. He doesn't seem to look like he has a devil fruit ability, but possibly, most likely will do, because it says he's probably taken out like 2 people. And then one of these fucking henchmen decides to attack Kid, and obviously Luffy comes into the rescue and blocks the attack, and then orders Kid to move forward, which of course Kid is gonna hate that because, you know, 2 conquerors haki users, like, you can't really be ordering each other around, you know what I mean? Like, Kid is not the type of person you order around. Now of course that naturally pisses him off. It turns out how Apu's ability actually works is that you need, as long as you can hear the sound that he's making, you are susceptible to his attacks. How Killer found this out, I do not know, and it seems as if the people, the 3 that are causing problems at the moment, have closed their ears, they've covered their ears, and they cannot hear this. So this is just another disaster waiting to happen. You know what I mean? It seems as if they're probably gonna have to work it out for themselves eventually, which they probably might or might not. Most likely not, because they're, you know, the stupid 3, I guess. We learn a bit more about Killer. It turns out he optionally ate the smile, so it wasn't by mistake as I previously thought, but instead it seems that he was convinced by Orochi to eat the fruit, which would pretty much increase his chances of being able to save his captain. So, and knowing Orochi's a sneaky bastard, he could have given him the devil fruits for 2 reasons. The one being that he knew that the smile has a low chance of someone ever getting a devil fruit ability or unlocking an ability out of the smile, and by giving it to Killer, it means that it makes sure that Killer isn't able to eat a real devil fruit and get stronger, so then they can oppose Kaido. And the other one will be that he actually thought for a minute that giving him the fruit would eventually give him a small devil fruit ability, right? And since they saying to him telling Killer to go save his captain, Orochi knowing damn well that's pretty much impossible because they've got Kaido, that would have pretty much turned Killer and Kid into an ally eventually. We switch to who is telling his crewmates not to go after the worst generation because obviously they have henchmen and other people dealing with that. And it seems as if that he overheard Queen saying that he wanted to get rid of one of the Flying Six, and most likely it's going to be who's who. And he says that makes two of them, which could obviously mean that there might be bad blood between them, might be a past that has caused them to hate each other. And being presented with the right opportunity, they will kill each other. So in this whole mess, during this whole mess, it'll be a distraction so they can kill each other, because that way no one would notice, because they'll be so distracted with their own personal fights. Now going back to Kinemon, it seems as if they've decided to change strategies, and this is quite a brilliant strategy. I highly doubt that Kinemon came up with this. It seems that what they're doing is they're splitting their forces into two, one going ahead and then pretending to be henchmen, and then the other obviously conducting an assault. Now what that does is it pretty much causes confusion between Kaido's henchmen, because they'll think that the forces assaulting would be all the rebels, right? But not knowing there are more amongst them. So they'll send a certain amount of troops to fight the people they deem to be rebels, or to fight the amount of rebels that they can see, not knowing that there are more amongst them, which will pretty much cause them to lose the fight because they've underestimated how many of them there actually are and haven't sent appropriate resistance to counter those rebels. Now on the way to the destination, these niggas find a brothel, which actually kind of makes sense. You know, it's a big army. Kaido has a big ass army. There's loads of men and there's a lot of testosterone. So I guess this stops them from going all Fleece Johnson on each other. Now what is interesting here is that the brothel is owned by Black Maria, a female. You'd think that it would be a man who would host this type of shit, but it seems to be Black Maria, a female, and apparently it is her domain. So because of that, that pretty much tells us or confirms that most likely the other Flying Six also have the domains built inside Onigashima. What also confirms is that this whole assault is gonna be one huge disaster, because their maps are outdated and they don't know where the hell they're going. Sanji naturally flies towards it as usual, and Shinobu suggests to Kinemon to find a little search party to search for Momonosuke, put together a team to go search for Momonosuke, right? So it turns out he sends Nami and Carrot, and if I was Momonosuke, I would get Kinemon's wig split, bro. Cause bro, if you think I am that important, why are you sending runts? Why are you sending weak people like Nami and Carrot? I mean, I understand Carrot, but Nami, come on. If you thought that royalty or the life of a royal person or someone really important needs to be saved, if you deem that person important, you wouldn't be sending weak runs. You'd probably send one of your best men. But then again, I guess they're dealing with Kaido, so they would need those best men at the front line, so they kind of have to make do. So I'm kind of gonna have to give Kinemon a pass on that one. I feel like I'm kind of sleeping on Nami's ability, but I don't know, but it just feels like Nami's never given me. The only thing she has is probably Zeus, that kind of makes a standing chance. Aside from that, I don't really see her taking down anyone major. Then again, they're up against Kanjuro. We don't exactly know how strong he is. So maybe through the combined efforts of Nami and Carrot, they might be able to save Momonosuke. If he hasn't saved himself already, that is. Sanji comes back because he didn't find none of these hoes. And as I said previously, this whole thing is going to be messed up, because guess what? As they're driving past this path that they're taking that they don't know anything about, guess who they find? Big Mom. And it's funny how Chopper makes eye contact with Big Mom. Now we don't know if Big Mom is gonna recognize Chopper. Most likely he probably won't, but then again she might just write him off, or most likely has forgotten who Chopper is, because obviously she met him and obviously they learned much about each other. They learned to know each other through the times when she had amnesia, right? or memory loss. Now, earlier within the chapter, we saw Big Mom on the phone talking about how her cruise ship should be in a certain port, right? And it turns out that wasn't the case. The reason because they got stuck by Marco the Phoenix. I didn't actually think that this guy was gonna come, and it seems as if most likely the only reason he did turn up is because he heard about the alliance. You see what I'm saying? So he wasn't gonna turn up to Luffy fighting against Kaido, but he turned up because them linking up would have caused the biggest fucking disaster. And it seems as if with that as well, Big Mom isn't really, it seems as if there might be a reason behind Big Mom agreeing. First thing is that they want to obviously kill the Strawhats because of what they did back at Whole Cake Island, but it seems as if there might be a deeper reason, or rather the crew are questioning why she's doing that, because the only objective to come to Wano in the first place was just to kill the Strawhats, right? So the next thing that I want to talk about is, why is it that they are still trying to climb the waterfall? I mean, King knocks them down, I guess, but if there has been an announcement that there are an alliance, why are they not allowed to use the gondola? Why is they still trying to climb the waterfall? Hopefully we will get an answer for that next chapter. But the next thing we need to discuss is, at the start of the chapter, I thought that this whole alliance and this whole fighting against the Yonko was going to fail, but since it would just be Big Mom and Kaido's forces against the Strawhats and their alliance, I think maybe because of what Marco has done has given them a fighting chance, because Big Mom won't have a crew to defend her or to fight within or fight against the Strawhats, right? So that gives them a handicap, that gives the Strawhats a fighting chance, I guess. And as Marco says, by the time that Big Mom's crew get up there, it will be a brand new age. So I think that Marco most likely will not necessarily join the fight, but will try to prevent the crew from getting up there. I guess that's his part of the bargain, I guess. And it seems as if Nekomamushi is back, but then he has someone besides her. That person, I think, is most likely going to be Jory Bonnie, one of the worst generation. It seems as if everyone in the worst generation, aside from Capone, are gathered in one place. And the reason I think it's Jory Bonnie is simply because she respected Whitebeard, right? To the point where she was actually crying for him. So it makes sense that she would probably be next to Marco, or probably keeps in contact with some of the Whitebeard pirates. I don't necessarily know her affiliation with them, but most likely it is going to be her. It's either that or that has to be Izo, and if that is Izo, that might mean that a bunch of the other Whitebeard pirates have also gathered up, coming to back up Luffy. And if that is the case, this arc is going to be one of the best, because we are about to see one of the most epic fights. And as well as we will get to know more about these Whitebeard pirates, because we don't really know much about them apart from the commanders, and they're really strong and have their own divisions, right? So we might be able to see more of their abilities, more of the devil fruit. We might also get a sense of how strong these niggas really are. It seems the Big Mom pirates themselves are speculating why Big Mom is forming an alliance with Kaido, because they don't see how much sense it makes. Obviously, smoothly writes it off and says orders are orders, right? But it seems as if Big Mom herself has plans. There's a sense of betrayal, or there might be a theme of betrayal somewhere nearby. Now, whether Kaido will be stupid enough to have fallen for it, we do not know. Now, speaking of Kaido's son, it seems as if they're gonna have to send out a team to kind of investigate his whereabouts, and most likely I have a feeling he might not actually be on Wano itself. It might actually be on another island. It's good to know that this raid is actually getting way more interesting than I thought it would be. So click on the left to find out how Teach might have possibly stole Whitebeard's devil fruit, and click on the right if you're a Naruto fan to find out how Kaguya might have defeated Ishiki Otsutsuki. I have nothing more to say. Bye.